Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Here we are going to cover the whole Azure series AZ104 of Azure Administrator Associate. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer with certifications across security, administration, solution architect, networking, DevOps, and also developer associate. So I will try my best to impart the best of my knowledge. If you have any questions, you can mention your questions in the comment box down below. And if you like the series, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So before we begin the series, we must have a clear understanding of what is AZ104 examination about. So they are going to test your understanding about how well you are able to administer the Azure environment and the resources. So here, if we go to the AZ104, so to reach on this page, you just need to search AZ104, and the first link that you have, you will click on that. So I have opened this link here. If I scroll down, you can see that this is a intermediate level certification. Now talking about how a beginner should get started onto Azure platform. So a beginner can opt the platform of AZ900, which is Azure Fundamentals, and after that he can get started with 104. And if we want to go ahead with an expert certification, we have AZ305, which is Azure Solution Architect, which is an expert level certification. If we talk about other specialty certifications and other certifications around Azure, which are very popular in the Azure field, so we have AZ400, which depicts, which is very important for a developer. So we also have developer associate courses, which is AZ204. This is DevOps and this is developer associate. Then we have specialty certifications in which we specifically deal with security and networking. For security understanding, we cover AZ500, and for networking understand, we cover AZ700. So there are a lot of certifications. I will also give you a dedicated link where you can browse all the Azure certifications that we have. Depending on the core specialty or the core workload that you are addressing, you can go ahead with these certifications. Now, coming to 104 examination as we discussed, so there is no such prerequisite before you begin with AZ104. You can, however, opt for AZ900 examination before this, which is a fundamental understanding about the Azure services that we have within different domains like compute, networking, storage, monitoring, and so on. So now when we talk about AZ104, if we go for other certifications like 305, 104 is a mandate or a prerequisite before you go ahead with an expert certification. So now let's focus on to the link that I have here on the screen. So this particular link will give you end-to-end information how to book the exam, what are the frequently asked questions, how we can explore all the certifications around Azure, and what is this certification about. Also, this link will give us a detailed understanding of the end-to-end syllabus that we have within AZ104. So here you can see this is the role of an administrator. We'll also explore this administrator link here. And there are frequent updates which are happening on AZ104. So this particular page was last updated and the last updated date is mentioned here. If you click on take the exam, it will redirect you how you can schedule your exam. We will be having a dedicated video on how to schedule the examination. If you are booking it in other regions, the costing depends on the different areas that you belong. Talking about India, it costs around 4,800 INR. We also have the amount depicted in US and other uh, regions. So here you can see what is this Azure Administrator Certification about. So as a candidate for this certification, you should have the subject matter expertise in implementing, managing, monitoring, and organization's Azure environment. So this is the ask once you are going for Azure Administrator. So Azure Administrator will cover virtual network, storage, compute, identity, security, and governance as the major part. In these areas only, when you go for the certification exam, the questions will be formulated and asked. So, as a Azure administrator, you often serve as a part of a larger dedicated team. So, you can coordinate with the different teams who are working on Azure, like Azure networking, security, DBs, application development, and DevOps. So, these are some of the things as a prerequisite you should be familiar with, such as what is an operating system, what is the core understanding of networking. Now, as we go ahead, there will be a dedicated series on networking as well. I know most of you do not belong to networking background, so we also will take a basic to advanced approach on the networking, where we will be dealing with the basics of IP, what is subnetting, and then we will be going ahead with the virtual networking concept related to Azure. In addition to that, we will be also seeing the basics of servers. Virtualization is not covered as a part of 104, but I will give you some a certain understanding when we cover the part of VMs. In addition to that, you should have expertise on PowerShell, CLI, Portal, ARM templates, and Microsoft Entra ID. We are also going to cover the basics of these parts. This is the whole syllabus that will be asked in AZ104, which is Azure Identity and Governance, implementing and managing storage, covering Azure Compute, virtual networking, and monitoring. So the whole AZ104 is divided into these five parts. Now, for the people who want to get started or are looking for some self learning approach, there is a self learning approach for preparing for the examination, which is provided for free from Azure. So, for example, if I want to talk about identity and governance and I want to give insights on managed identity and governance, there is a series of topics which are covered in 104, such as what is Microsoft Entra ID, what is the difference between ADDS, what are the different types of Entra plans that we have, right? Users, subscriptions, Azure policies, managing users and groups, right? So a lot of concepts are there, and whatever is covered as a part of official syllabus of Microsoft, we will be covering everything end to end. So you don't need to buy any other courses on any platform to clear the examination. Towards the end of this series, we are also going to discuss dedicated Q&A questions which can be asked in the examination. So get glued to this particular series, and we'll make sure each one of you clear the examination. So keep us posted once you clear the certification. Now, here you can see that we have some practice assessments as well, which you can take as a part of AZ104. So for that, you need to have a sign in within the account. Also, we'll be having some demo sessions which will tell you how the exam environment will look. So once we move ahead to booking the examination, in that video series, we'll see end to end how to book the exam. Also, there are some preparation videos. This I recommend to all of you. Please watch this videos for any topic which is not clear to you. This is divided into episodes of for identity, it is 1 to 5. Then we have other episodes of storage, compute, virtual networking, and monitoring. So if anyone is more inclined towards a video approach of learning the topics, you can refer this Microsoft pages for understanding about any topic. Just to remind you, whatever we are going to cover in this series will be aligned with whatever content is there onto the Microsoft official page. So, in case you will feel that what slides are being discussed, all the slides are being discussed from the content taken up from here. So, you don't need to worry about the content part, you have the accessibility to all the resources. Now, as we move ahead, there is a schedule exam option which we'll be taking in a separate video, and you can change the region to understand the pricing mechanism of each of the locations. So we can select India as well, and we can see that it is 4,800 INR as the cost for AZ104. Since we have talked about the whole syllabus, we can get a detailed syllabus of what all topics in each of the domains we have to study. So, those certifications, there are several certifications listed here. You can go through the certifications and the syllabus here by clicking on any of the link here. So, if you scroll down, we can see that this is the partitioning of 104 examination, in which identity covers 20% weightage of the whole questions in the exam. Managing and implementing storage covers 15 to 20 percentage. Deploying and managing Azure compute resources covers 20 to 25 percentage. Implementing and managing virtual network is 15 to 20 percentage. And monitoring and maintaining Azure resources is 15 to 10 to 15 percentage. Now, what all topics will be covered in identities? So we are going to go through each topic one by one, like what is users, what are licenses, what are external users, what are roles, right? What is the subscription and governance? And then we have storage concepts, where we will be discussing about firewalls, SaaS, tokens to be generated, access keys to be generated, right? And also configuring and managing storage account, where we deal with how to create a storage account, what is the redundancy, what is the object replication, and so on. We will be seeing Azure files and blobs, and we'll be covering all of these concepts, where you can see how to create a blob and how to configure the different tiers, what is the blob lifecycle management and versioning. In the compute, we are going to cover how to spin up the compute resources using the ARM or biceps, which is nothing but infrastructure as the code approach to spin up the services. So we are going to have a look from the lab view as well. Also, we will be seeing how to create a virtual machine from the Azure portal. So how to move virtual machines, how to create and manage the sizes, what is the disk management, right? What is the virtual machine to availability and availability sets? That is the high availability part for virtual machines. And how do we provision and manage containers? So containerization is also covered as a part of compute within the AZ104. This is a very basic approach which is led here, in which we discuss about Azure container registry, container instances, container apps, and also a bit of introduction I will give for Kubernetes. But if you want to have a deep dive on Kubernetes, there are dedicated certifications for that. Also, you will be having greater understanding when you go ahead in this series of certification, followed with solution architect. We will be covering another part of compute which is related to platform as a service, PaaS category, where we will be talking about Azure App Services. In App Services, we will be seeing how to spin up an application with a developer approach, right? And how we, with ease, we can easily manage the application deployment. So all of these topics we are going to cover. Then we have implementing and managing virtual networking. So whenever you spin up a virtual machine, they by default get spinned up in a virtual network. So how to configure a virtual network, how to create a subnet, what is the IP idea? So everything from the basics we are going to see. Also for security, we will be covering network security groups and security rules, name resolution. And towards the last, we will be covering the monitoring part, in which we are going to see how to work with the dedicated service of Azure Monitor. Also, we will be seeing how to take backups with the help of Recovery Service Vault and Site Recovery. So this is the detailed content that we have for AZ104, right? Just download this content in your system and go through step by step of understanding each of the topics, right? Also, I have also redirected towards the link where you can get started with the videos and study materials. So please refer to that link. So this is for the understanding of each of the dedicated topics. Towards the end, there is a knowledge check. You can complete those knowledge checks and you will get some XP points from Microsoft. If you go ahead with preparation videos, so there are dedicated videos for the each 5 domains that we have discussed. So that was end-to-end understanding. We will be also seeing in a separate video how to book the examination. In case you have any other questions related to AZ104, please put your comments in the chat and we will go through those comments and reply you individually. Thank you for your patience, and I hope all of you clear AZ104. Keep up the spirit high, and we will make sure that each one of you are flying out with certifications after this session. Thank you, everyone. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.